Here goes the question. As per the Shastras, the ultimate goal of human life is to get liberation and go back to Godhead. Then in other places such as Sikshashtakam, the saying is in such a way that Gauranga doesn't even desire liberation. If it is said that a devotee should not desire liberation, then what should be the ultimate motive? If you look at the Vedic scriptures, they talk of 4 goals or purposes of the human form of life. They are known as the Chatushpurushartha. Artha means benefit, and Purusha means human being. Chatu means 4. So there are 4 goals of the human form of life, depending on what one's spiritual development is. The first one is Dharma. If you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains how, if you look at this whole creation, material creation, this creation is full of living entities. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvagataha. Anywhere you turn, you will find living entities. There is the ocean. You go deep into the ocean, 3 kilometers down into the ocean bed, you will find living entities there. The pressures are immense there. The hydrostatic pressure, because of the water column. You have 3 kilometer, 4 kilometer depth of water. The pressure is intense. If you take a ordinary some metal or something there at that depth, it will get crushed. That will be the kind of pressures there. And so when they make submarines and all that, they have to design the hull in such a way that it has to be able to withstand the pressure to the whatever depth it is going. Otherwise, it'll simply get crushed because of the pressure. So you can understand that such intense pressures are there at such depths that even metal will get crushed. Human beings cannot go just like that. You can imagine there are living entities there also. On the land you come, you go to the ocean beach full of sand. And in the sand you will find so many living entities. And then, of course, the ocean is full of water. You go to the desert, no water at all, dry and searing heat, 50 degrees, 55 degrees centigrade. There also you will find living entities. You go to the Arctic and Antarctic poles, full of ice, minus 20 degrees, minus 40 degrees centigrade. There also you will find living entities. You take a fire, in that also you will find living entities. Anywhere you go, in the sky, in the land, in the water, in the ice, in the fire, everywhere you will find living entities. That's the characteristic of this material creation, full of living entities. Out of all the living entities, the Vedic scriptures state there are 8,400,000 species, 84 lakh species. And the species is not in terms of what we today learn in biology, but in terms of the evolving of consciousness, which living entities are more evolved in consciousness accordingly. There are 300,000 or how many species? Kramayo Rudra Sankhya. There are 11 lakh species of insects and reptiles. There are Trimshal Lakshani Pashavaha, 30 lakh species of animals. And like this, aquatics, animals, reptiles. Ultimately, there are 400,000 species of human beings. Out of 8,400,000 species, 400,000 is human beings. Very small percentage. Amongst all the living entities, to get the human form is rare. Now, out of the human species also, there are those who are civilized and those who are uncivilized. There are some people who live in the forest or they live in some remote places. They are not very civilized, they are not educated, very primitive way of life they have. You have uncivilized people, you have civilized people. Now, amongst the civilized people, there are those who are totally materialistic, who live only for sense enjoyment. And then there are those who understand there is a higher purpose than simply my own sense enjoyment. And these people who have a little higher sense of enjoyment, or higher sense of life, they undertake the path of dharma or religion. Any form of religion, they will be willing to follow strictly. And out of these people who follow religion, dharma, there are very few people who actually, although they may profess to follow a religion, they may say, I am a Hindu, I am a Christian, I am a Muslim, or whatever. But how many do actually follow? A very small percentage of people actually follow the rules of the dharma. And the people who follow dharma, those who strictly follow dharma also, why are they following? So that they get some benefit. They acquire punya. They can go to heaven. They can next life, they can again get human form of life. They can get birth in a rich family or in the upper planetary systems in Swargaloka as a Devata, or at least as human being, as a rich man, or as a beautiful person, or at least as a knowledgeable person, intelligent person. There are people who follow religion for these things. This is called artha. Dharma, people follow dharma. Religion for what? For artha, for getting some of these benefits. And by getting these benefits, what is the advantage? If I am born in the heavenly planets, or I take birth in a rich, influential family, or I get a beautiful body, what is the advantage? Kama, I can enjoy. I can enjoy life. If I have money, I can enjoy. If I am born in a poor, poverty-stricken condition, then how can I enjoy? If I am beautiful, I can enjoy. If I am very ugly looking, I won't get a partner. Therefore, the desire to possess a good birth, desire to possess beauty, desire to possess knowledge or intelligence, these are all desires. By possessing these benefits, I can enjoy in life. So, dharma, artha, kama. Kama means various desires. Now, after taking many millions of births, following the path of dharma, artha, kama, one may finally become frustrated and say, there is really no enjoyment in this material world. So, I want moksha. Moksha is the final fourth purushartha, the final purushartha. And the moksha means I renounce everything. I have no more desire to enjoy in this material world. I don't want to take repeated birth and death in this material world. I have realized that no matter how much punya I do, how much dharma I do, how much ever kama I can fulfill my kama, the desires are never ending. They will go on coming after me. And moreover, I have to repeatedly undergo the cycle of birth, death, disease and old age. Anywhere I go in this material world. Even if I go to Swarga, heavenly planets, even if I go to Brahmaloka, there also I have to suffer like this. So, when I see the futility of all this dharma, artha and kama, what do I want? I want moksha, I want liberation. I don't want to again take birth in this material world. This is the fourth and final stage of Purushartha. The whole idea of the Vedas is to take you step by step. Fulfill dharma, by following dharma you come to artha, by getting artha you come to kama, and finally after fulfilling kama for many lifetimes you come to the point of trying to achieve moksha or liberation. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha, chaturth purushartha. These are the four purusharthas. Now, although the Vedic scriptures talk of these purusharthas, the final purushartha of moksha is considered the topmost. That is why great yogis, great jnanis, they are all highly respected. Although they have given up everything, they are living a very renounced life, they are living in the forest and all that, still, even great kings will go and bow down before them. Therefore, moksha is considered the topmost purushartha. If anybody can achieve that, he is a really respectable person. But now, the Vedas state, in all these conditions, when you look at dharma, artha, kama, moksha, everywhere there is self-interest involved, swartha. I desire to follow dharma for my benefit. for getting artha for myself. I want some result. That is why I follow Dharma. I worship Lord Shiva so that I can get some wealth. I worship Durga so that I can get a beautiful wife. I worship Surya so that I can have good health. Everywhere there is swartha, self-interest. Kama is also self-interest. I want to enjoy myself. And when it comes to the Chatushpurushartha, moksha, I want liberation so that I stop suffering, birth, death, disease and old age. Everywhere you see, it is self-interest. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and said, there is a Panchama Purushartha, there is a fifth Purushartha, which is beyond these four Purusharthas. What is that? That Purushartha is where it is transcendental Purushartha. It is the benefit of the real Purusha, which is Krishna. Not our Swartha, not my personal benefit. I want to see to the pleasure of Krishna. I want to develop Krishna Prema. I want to love Krishna. I want to awaken my love for forgotten love for Krishna. That is the Panchama Purushartha. Therefore, you will see Vedic scriptures, several places, they talk of the attaining moksha as the liberation, as the highest goal of life. That is because as long as we are still having that self-interest, that is the highest goal you can achieve. You cannot go beyond that. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught, by following the process of bhakti yoga, devotional service to Krishna, what will happen? Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayatyasu Jnanam Vairagyam Yadahaitukam. If we render devotional service to Krishna, automatically, without separate endeavor, without any reason, automatically in the heart, by itself, knowledge and renunciation will manifest. Renunciation means renunciation for all dharma, artha, kama, even moksha. You will become renounced, you will renounce even moksha. Then what will you want? Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yogaha. You want to simply render devotional service to please Krishna. And by that, you will achieve the real goal, which is the highest goal which is achievable in the human form of life, which is Krishna Prema. And which is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about that he says, birth after birth, I want to be your servant. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prays that when will that time come when I chant your holy name, my voice will get choked up and there will be tears flowing down my eyes like torrents. That is seeking Krishna Prema. That is the hankering for Krishna Prema. We can never become desireless. We have to desire something or the other. Instead of desiring something for myself, I desire to reawaken my lost, my forgotten love for Krishna, by which Krishna will become pleased. Why do I want to reawaken my Krishna Prema? Not because I am going to get something out of it. I will become happy. I will become pleased. No. If I reawaken my Krishna consciousness, if I reawaken my Krishna Prema, Krishna will become happy. Krishna is happiest when a living entity remembers his forgotten Krishna Prema, forgotten relationship with Krishna, and comes back to the platform of Krishna Prema. That gives the highest pleasure to Krishna. And therefore, a devotee engages in devotional service to Krishna. So therefore, that is why you will see the Shastras talk about the ultimate goal of life to get liberation. But then even beyond that, Dhiyamanam api na grinnanti salokya sarshti samipyaikyatvam. Dhiyamanam api na grinnanti vina matsevanam janaha. Kapila Dev states this in the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. There are 5 kinds of liberation. Salokya, samipya, sarshti, like this. Salokya means attaining the same planet, abode as the Supreme Personality of Godhead to achieve Vaikuntha. Sarshti means to achieve the same opulence as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to achieve a body which looks very similar to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Sarupya. And then Samipya, to become a very close, confidential associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then there is Sayujya, to merge into the effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But this Sayujya is not really, technically, if you say, a liberation. So practically, the Vaishnavas consider only 4 kinds of liberation. So, Diyamanamapi, even if a devotee is offered by Krishna himself, that I want to give you Samipya, Sarupya, Salokya, Sarshti, one of these, any one of these you choose, liberation. Nagrinnanti, devotees say, no, I don't want. Vinamat sevanam. If it does not involve devotion service to Krishna, devotees are not interested even in liberation. That is why devotees are least interested, Vaishnavas are least interested in the merging, Sayujya Mukti, merging into Brahman. Because if you merge into Brahman, there is no opportunity for service. Therefore, a devotee of Krishna wants only to serve Krishna. He is not interested even in moksha, mukti. So therefore, in the Shastras, although they talk about the ultimate goal of the human form of life to be to get liberation, but then that liberation also is the ultimate goal only for those people who are still wanting some personal benefit. And for those who render devotional service to Krishna, even moksha becomes, even liberation becomes tuchha. Even that becomes not an object to be aspired for or desired for. Devotee simply wants to serve Krishna. That's all. Okay.